filming this whole video. It just feels very unorganized and I can't. So, hey guys, it's Jade and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be telling you some of my Netflix recommendations. I don't know why I've been so excited to film this video. It's probably because I'm obsessed with Netflix, and I'm sure a lot of people like myself have been looking for shows to binge in quarantine. So I'm not going to make this intro super long. I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and let's get started. The first one on my list is Jane the Virgin. Oh my gosh, I love this show. I watched like half of the first episode and I was like, this is not very good, but it has 6 seasons, so trust me, it gets better. Like, it gets so much better. And if you're on the verge of watching this show, you need to watch it. This is your sign. Go watch Jane the Virgin. It's so good. It's about this girl who gets artificially inseminated, which is a very big word, but if you look it up, it'll make sense. And she already has this whole life, her family, her boyfriend, everything like that, and then whenever that happens, she's now connected to another family, like another man, and he has a wife, and there's just a lot of drama going on because the families are kind of different, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of crime, actually, which I really liked that aspect of it. There's romance, drama. It's actually pretty funny, and I love the narration, so I really recommend that you watch this show. It's really, really good. Give it a chance, because I know after I did, I was so happy with myself for doing that, because it's one of the best shows that I've watched on Netflix. I would rate the show a 9.5 out of 10. The next show is The Flash, and I've been watching the show for quite a while now because it's still airing, and I used to be really obsessed with it. Like, I had a Star Labs hoodie and I actually gave it away, but it's still a really good show. It's about the Flash. Basically, he gets struck by lightning, and so now he has super speed, and he's just navigating life, trying to balance the two, and also there's obviously a lot of like crime and mystery in it. Yeah, this is a really good show. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, and I would rate this an 8 out of 10. Okay, moving on, I feel like this show is a little bit more under the radar, and it's called The Good Place, and it's a pretty good show. It only has like 3 seasons, maybe 4, I can't exactly remember, but it's about this girl named Eleanor, and she was not the best human ever, and whenever this Eleanor dies, there's another girl named Eleanor who was much better than her, but she dies at the exact same time, and so basically the wrong Eleanor gets sent to the good place, which is heaven, and then the bad place is down there, you know? So Eleanor realizes that she's not supposed to be in the good place, and she basically just tries to figure out a way to stay and keep it a secret from everyone that she's not supposed to be there. She becomes a better person while she's there so that she doesn't have to leave. That was probably a really bad explanation of it, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. I'm pretty bad at explaining things, but this was a pretty good show, and it's not that long, so it's not like binge worthy. I would rate it a 7 out of 10. This next show I hope you're familiar with, because it has like blown up this year. Ever since it released in like April, I think, I've been obsessed with it. I literally stalk all the cast members on Instagram. It is Outer Banks. This show is so good. Like I said, you've probably heard of it. It's not very underrated at all. I literally watched it in 9 hours. Like, I watched it so fast in one day, and I was obsessed with it. It's about these 4 kids who live in the Outer Banks, North Carolina. I'm not from the Outer Banks, but I'm from North Carolina, which is kind of cool. But yeah, they're from that place, and they just live a really carefree, like, fun, adventurous life. And then this hurricane comes along, and a lot of like secrets and mysterious things are washed up, and a lot of like bad things happen. And so John B and his friends go on this like adventure or mission to basically find the gold that his dad has been looking for, and his dad has been missing for like 9 months at the time, so they decide to go looking for the gold that his dad was looking for, especially because they're not very rich. They're the Pogues, and then there's a whole nother group called the Kooks, and it's like rich versus poor, you know, or like less fortunate. I did not do a good job at explaining that one either. But yeah, it's very interesting, and it was number 1 on Netflix for quite a while, and I rate it a 9.5 out of 10. Next, we have All-American. I just started watching this show like a few days ago, and I'm already at the beginning of season 2. There's 2 seasons, and I really hope they come out with another one, but obviously nobody can really do that right now because of COVID. It's about this boy named, what's his name again? Oh yeah, his name is Spencer. It's actually based off of a real story, which I think is interesting, but it's about this boy named Spencer, and he's really, really good at football, and he lives in a very small, like less fortunate town. So basically he lives in the hood, and he gets invited to go play football at Beverly, which is Beverly Hills. Like, that's a big difference. He goes to play football at a very like rich school, and the family that he's staying with has a lot of secrets that he doesn't know about, and there's just a lot of stuff going on. It can be scary sometimes because there's like some gang violence in it, but I really like this show. I am not finished with it, so I'm gonna rate it an 8.5 out of 10, but I actually really like it, and I'm mad at myself for not starting it earlier because it has been out for a while. But if you haven't watched All-American, you need to go watch it. Also, All-American's soundtrack is so good. There's songs on there that I know that I really like, and I'm just jamming out while watching the show. The soundtrack is amazing. Moving on to the next show, which is Glee. It's like a teen drama, but it's a little bit more lighthearted, I guess, and it's about a show choir, which probably sounds really cheesy and gross and not good to watch, but it's actually very interesting. It's about the show choir, like I said, and they are not very good at first, and none of the kids in the show choir are popular, so it's very like looked down upon. And so the quarterback of the football team joins the Glee club, and he basically changes the game for them, and they become more popular, and there's a lot of relationships and drama inside of the Glee club, and it's really good. And a lot of the songs that they do, I love some of the covers. Like, I have them on my playlist. It's just a really good show, especially if you're someone that likes music. I would rate it probably an 8 out of 10. It's a pretty good show. Also, really quickly, the only thing about Glee is that it gets a little bit boring after most of the main characters or the original characters leave, so that's like season 3 or season 4. Next, we have a series of unfortunate events, and I think this show is pretty underrated. It's basically about these 3 kids, the Baudelaire children, and they technically become foster kids because their parents both died in a fire, and so it's a very mysterious show. But basically they have to move in with this guy who is very creepy and just wants their title because their parents were very like rich or like famous explorers or something like that. They try and escape him because he wants their like title, their name, their money, all that stuff. They're just forever on the run from this guy, and it's a very good show. That's the best way that I could explain it. And like I said, I think it's pretty underrated, so I would rate it an 8 out of 10 if you like more mysterious shows. There's not a lot of like comedy. I liked it, and I think that you should watch it, especially if you're like really desperate. Not that it's like a show that you would go to like at the very least, you know what I mean? But if you're really looking for something, you should give that show a try. Next, we have The Fosters, and I think this show is so good. It has 6 seasons, I believe, and actually, let me check. Did they take it off of Netflix? No! Okay, I don't know if they actually took The Fosters off of Netflix. That would be really, really sad, but if they did, I'm sorry. I'm just still gonna tell you about the show because it's really, really good. The Fosters is about these 2 kids, what are their names? It's been a while since I watched it. Oh yeah, Callie and Jude. They've been in the foster system for a very long time, and they have had some very unfortunate experiences in the foster care system, and they get taken into this home with a nice family with some other foster kids, and it's really interesting. There's just a lot of drama, and there's also a little bit of mystery crime stuff going on because one of their moms is a cop. I feel like there's not much that I can say without spoiling it, so you really should go watch that show. If it's not on Netflix, I apologize, I didn't know, but it's really good, and I would rate it a 9 out of 10. Okay, so next we have a show called Life Sentence, and I think this only has 1, maybe 2, I'm pretty pretty positive it only has one season. It is a show that I feel like not a lot of people know about. If you also have the CW app, I don't know if it's still on there, but it was originally a CW show, just like All American. And it's about this girl, and well, she's an adult, but it's about this woman who had cancer, and so her family was very like overprotective of her and very just like gentle and not really real with her because of her cancer. Then her cancer got cured, and so now there's a bunch of secrets and things that her family didn't tell her because obviously they didn't want to stress her out when she had cancer, but now she's figuring out all of these things about her family. It's a drama-filled show, so but I don't remember that much about it because it has been a while since I watched that show, but I would rate it a 7 out of 10. The next thing that I have is a movie, and this is the only movie on the list, but there are some good Netflix movies. I just didn't want to say the ones that were already known, like The Kissing Booth and To All the Boys and all that stuff. This movie is called My Secret Obsession. This movie is so good. I watched it with my family, and it is I guess it's a mystery show, or not a show. It's a mystery movie, and it's about this girl who gets in a very bad car accident, and so she gets put into the hospital. She loses her memory. So after she loses her memory, obviously she doesn't remember like her parents or her friends, her family, like all that stuff. She doesn't remember any of them. So she has to go back to this life with people and places that she doesn't recognize. I cannot say much at all without spoiling it, but it's just a really good movie, and I think that you should watch it. Just don't watch it in the dark because it can get kind of scary sometimes. I'd rate this movie a 9 out of 10. And lastly, this is a show that I watched in 6th grade, and it's not on Netflix anymore, unfortunately, but if you have like Hulu or if you have any way to watch the show, look it up and see what like platforms it's on, because it's really, really good. It's called Drop Dead Diva, and I convinced my friend to watch this show in 6th grade, and we watched it together. It was so good, and she told me that she really liked it. So it's about this model named Deb, and she gets into a car accident and she dies. And then another woman named Jane, who is an attorney or a lawyer, I don't know what the difference is, but she's a lawyer, and she dies at the same time as Deb. And so Deb goes to heaven, and she's like, no, I don't want to be here. So she pushes this button and she gets put back into Earth, but instead of going into her body, she goes into Jane's body. They are very, very opposite. Like, Deb is a model and Jane is a lawyer, and she's not very like popular. She's not very into magazines, modeling, all that stuff. So it's kind of like The Good Place now that I think about it. It's really good. It has 6 seasons, so you can binge it. If you can find it anywhere, please watch it. It's so good. And also, I really liked the lawyer attorney like part of it when they went to court and stuff. Some of that stuff was very interesting to watch. I really recommend. I'll rate this show a 9 out of 10 if you could find it anywhere. I really wish it was on Netflix, but it's not. So if you find it, watch it and let me know what you think. So that was my list of Netflix recommendations, including 2 shows that are no longer on Netflix, but that you should still watch. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more videos like this, if you want an updated YouTuber's recommendations, more movies maybe, so, you know, whatever you want, let me know. I didn't say this out loud, but I did put it at the end of my last video. I am now uploading every Friday, so make sure you turn on your post notifications. Stay on the lookout for my videos every single Friday. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.